This is about Charles Evan Hughes. He was an American statesman, lawyer, and Republican politician from New York, and he's also a judge on the Court of International Justice and the 11th Chief Justice of the United States. Historian has hailed him as a leading American conservative.
He was such a smart kid. At the age of 14, he enrolled at Madison University, where he became a member of Delta Upsilon fraternity. He then transferred to Brown University, continuing as a member of Delta Upsilon. He graduated third in his class at the age of 19. He read law and entered Columbia Law University in 1882, where he graduated in 1884 with highest honors.
Mr. Hughes, upon you.
Rancor and bigotry, racial animosities, and intolerance are the deadly enemies of true democracy. There can be no friendly cooperation if they exist. They are enemies more dangerous than any external force.
In 1891, Hughes left for the practice of law to become a professor at Cornell Law School. Then he returned to his old law firm in New York City to continue practicing until he ran for governor in 1906. Hughes accepted nomination to the High Court from President Taft. 6 years later, Hughes resigned to run against Woodrow Wilson for the presidency as the nominee of the Republican and Progressive parties. He lost by a mere 23 electoral votes.
Hughes was appointed Chief Justice of the United States by President Hoover. As Chief Justice, Hughes generally held a moderately conservative position and was often swing vote on the courts divided between conservative and liberal factions. He vigorously opposed Roosevelt's unsuccessful effort to reorganize the Supreme Court. Hughes authored twice as many constitutional opinions as any other member of his court. His opinions, in the view of one commentator, were concise and admirable, placing Hughes in the pantheon of great justice. Karematsu versus United States. Karematsu versus United States was a landmark United States Supreme Court case concerning the constitutionality of Executive Order 9066, which ordered Japanese Americans into internment camps during World War II regardless of citizenship. But Karematsu said no. Fred Karematsu was a Japanese American man who decided to stay in San Leandro, California, and knowingly violated Civilian Exclusion Order No. 34 of the United States Army. Fred Karematsu argued that the Executive Order 9066 was unconstitutional and that it violated the Fifth Amendment, which is part of the Bill of Rights and protects a person against being compelled to be a witness against himself in a criminal case. To the United States Constitution, he was arrested and convicted. It is indistinguishable from the case of Hirabayashi versus United States decision and rested largely on the same principle, deference to Congress and the military authorities, particularly in light of the uncertainty following Pearl Harbor. The case of Karematsu has never been overturned. In the 6-3 decision, the court sided with the government, ruling that the exclusion order was constitutional. Once it became constitutional, it means that it is legal and okay to be discriminate. Karematsu versus United States has always been very controversial. It is a terrible decision that Supreme Court made. Justice Stephen G. Breyer has written that Karima too has lost all potency as president. The decision has been so thoroughly discredited, and he wrote that it is hard to conceive of any future court referring to it favorably or relying on it.
Thanks for watching.